So let's go over scatterplots and trendlines. So first, scatterplots. We get scatterplots from data. So we have x and y here. It could be anything. It could be x could be time, and then y could be distance traveled by a slug or anything. Anything that you would keep track of, more or less. So in this case, for example, when x is 0, y is 1. So we could just plot that point. Then when x is 1, y is 3. When x is 2, y is still 3. When x is 3, we have that y is 5. When x is 4, y is 7. When x is 5, y is 8. And when x is 6, y is 8.5. So if we were to graph this, this wouldn't be a straight line, right? Let's connect these dots. So there's really no trend here to be able to predict accurately what would come next if we followed this, because it changes every time. So this isn't a very useful tool just to connect these. But a trend line would help us better analyze this. So just looking at this, we see it kind of looks like it's going up. So we would expect that the next value would either be higher or at around the same height. So a trend line, we simply just make a sketch, in this case, to try and assume different values. So it looks like it follows something like this. So some are above, some are below, but it more or less takes this shape, and we're kind of just doing this by eye. So now from here we can make some assumptions. So we could say that when x is 4.5, it's probably here. At a later time, or a later x value, when x is 8, we could assume a certain y value based on following this up and seeing the associated y value. So it helps for future assumptions and gives us an idea of how this data is related, how y relates to x. And we could do this on the calculator, but for many questions we could solve it just by eyeballing it and get an idea of the trend line and how it relates to the data given.